Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh wow, we have a picture of the day of the migration. Hello everyone and welcome. We have a picture of the day of the migration. What was it, like 1 year ago? No, it's not 1 year ago. Well, maybe. Um, no, it's not. But anyway, um, you may be. Hello guys. Hello, 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 hello. So today there is one problem that I have identified, and this problem is related to to how our NPC are reloading. So I need to do some reasoning on this. So at the moment, we spawn NPC in the world, right? And when you kill them, right, they respawn based on the NPC spawn rule, right, which is basically a set of rules that decides, how this NPC should respawn. I mean, in base of time, based on position and whatever, right? Now our current code is going through a respawn, this guy, UPS respawn game event, right? So UPS respawn event, don't know why when you paste it, but anyway. UPS game respawn event is looking at the spawn rules and is then deciding if our NPC should respawn or not. Hello, Hula. And at the moment in the procedural dungeons is not respawning. It's not respawning. So the respawn game event is actually it doesn't know, right? It doesn't know if this character is a character that has been loaded dynamically or not. He has no idea. While I think that he should. Because at the moment it doesn't know if the character is a dungeon character or is a real database character. And this is an issue. So I think that the first thing we need to change, we need to ensure that the character knows if he's dynamically loaded or not, right? And I think that at the moment our character does not know. At least I think it doesn't know. I think if I search dynamic into this, no. I think the character doesn't know. So I think that is the first change we need to make. So each character should know if is dynamic or not, right? Because at the moment what happens is that this respawn event this respawn event, right? Come on, IntelliSense, come on. Is this rider license arriving or not? Doesn't look like, huh? Because maybe they will save me a bit of time. Maybe it will save me a bit of time. No available licenses. GG. No, it's not. It's not. It's not yet, but it will arrive. It will arrive. I'm positive. So yeah, this thing is calling respawn. It's calling spawn manager respawn, right? And annoying. It's calling spawn manager respawn. And inside the respawn, the first thing that it's doing, right, is checking if he can load the data, right, from the database. And it is where it fails, because it's searching is searching on the database the character and tries to respawn it. Right? And you may say, why we are searching the database? Well, we are searching the database because the character may actually be, I mean, first of all, the character is being destroyed. Because when the character actually dies, you know, we call destroy on the PS character. So is actually, the entity is actually fully destroyed, completely. It doesn't exist anymore in the world, right? It doesn't exist at all. At all. And so I don't even have a way, I mean, I don't even have a place to go and read its data, except the database. Now, in the old game, we did something smart. So we basically created a cache, and we were reading from the cache. But the difference of the old game was that a PS character entry was different and separate from an actor entry. So there were two different things. So in the old game, I had, let's say, the 3D actor, right? The 3D actor. And then there was a relationship with the APS character, right? And so actually what we were doing, so this was the APS character, right? So what we were doing, we were actually destroying the 3D actor, but keeping the APS character in a cache, right? And so when the NPC was actually dying, we were just reloading from the cache. Well, not even reloading, because this was a full PS character, right? So it was a full PS character. So it was actually, now, in a real engine, our character is one thing, right? So the 3D, this was the old game, right? But in the new game, this thing is just one object, right? So when I destroy this object, I destroy both. I destroyed the 3D entity and the data associated. So I cannot really keep it in a cache, right, of some kind. I cannot. I cannot. But at the same time, you know, I would like to avoid searching on the database every time an NPC dies, right? Because I think it's a bad idea, performance-wise, and even more, you know, with dynamically loaded NPC, they do not exist on the database. So there is no point, right, in searching the database if the data is not there. The problem of this functionality is that it's actually impacting a lot of different cases, because you have the player dying, which is one thing. You have a standard database NPC dying, right? Which is another thing. You have a tribes NPC dying, which is another thing. You have a random generated event NPC dying, which is also another thing. And now you have the procedural dungeon NPC dying, which is another thing. But pretty much all of them, I mean, all of those, right? All of those go through the same code. So they all die, get destroyed, and then the UPS respawn game event kicks in, and we are trying to respawn it. But obviously, for these three cases, right, since they do not exist in the database, this does nothing. So actually the NPC is not going to respawn. And the tribes, for example, the tribes is considering this in a very specific way. So the tribes is just recreating a new member because they have to reproduce, right? So I think it's perfectly fine that for the tribes we don't have a DB entry, and that this guy is getting, I mean, it just returns with no values, because what happens is that this, when he's trying to do load character data from the database with a specific player ID of the dynamically loaded NPC, will just go to null. And so this will, right? This will this will just, you know, exit. So the problem that we have is how do we fix this problem? I mean, because depends on the case, right? Depends on the case. There are so many different cases here. So I think that player dying is fine. So player dying can go through this process. NPC DB dying can go through this process, right? Tribes dying can go through this process up to here, and then here it will fail, and we are okay that it fails, right? So the difference is that this set is static and this set is dynamic, right? So that is the difference. So these two at the top actually have IDs in the database, and these do not have IDs in the database. They have ID only at runtime, only on the server at runtime, right? So, but if you look at these three, you know, the tribes is pretty much working by itself, right? So the tribes is saying, okay, you failed the respawn, I don't care, so I will not respawn. And then when the tribes can create a new member, the new member will be generated, right? So now in the random generated event, right, it depends, because we can have random generated events where we want the monsters to actually respawn, and other generated events maybe when we don't, right? But I would say that in general, for random generated event, if I say, hey, spawn, you know, 10 clacker and let them play a fight, I don't think I want to respawn them. I think the event is completed when the monsters are killed, right? So I think that for random generated events is not that much of a problem. I think the real problem is this. The real problem is this. So, or the dungeon object. So one way to do it would be that the dungeon object knows when one of his guys is dying, right? And because at the moment we are keeping, let me see, at the moment we are keeping the NPC entities. These are the NPC pieces, which is not, I think it's at the end. Yeah, exactly. So this is not, so the dungeon object needs to keep track of the NPC that is spawned, and he also needs to know when someone is dying, because he will have to substitute the NPC into this list to then be able to remove it when the dungeon is deleted, right? So, well, the first thing is that obviously this needs to be a T-weak pointer. I think we cannot go with a normal, right? With a normal actor, and that's fine. But nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, I think we need a function here somewhere we need to notify the dungeon, right? And I think this can be just an actor. Right? And this, what we'll do, right? You will have to remove from NPC instances. You will have to remove from, yeah. Why is not? Hello? Okay. Anyway, we'll have to remove from NPC instances this guy, right? Because that guy will not be valid anymore. Now, is it... what does he want? No, I cannot do it this way. Ah, it's object pointer. Is object pointer. Yeah, it's object pointer. So now the only problem is that I have to do this before the item is actually destroyed, right? I have to do this before the item is actually destroyed. Because this may not be valid anymore. So a few things needs to happen. First of all, my it is kind of annoying though. Because the problem is that, okay, I can have, so let's assume for a second that I have a new function here, right? That it identifies that my NPC is part of a dungeon, and we send to the dungeon object the event that my NPC has died, right? Pretty much the same that we did here. Where do we actually destroy the object? I think we don't destroy it here. We destroy it because here is where he just died, right? But after he just died, we have the NPC on the ground, right, for some time. And then after that, we respawn it, right? So So in theory here, the NPC is 100% valid. It's still valid, right? The problem will be if I schedule the respawner, right? And then I delete the dungeon. And the respawner is happening after the deletion of the dungeon, so the monster will respawn with no dungeon, which would be a bit weird, right? So I think it's exactly the same problem that we had with the loot, because with the loot we have the same issue, right? So that, and so what I did with the loot, I actually stored the timer, no? What did I do with the loot? With the loot, yeah, exactly, loot timers. Exactly. So the loot knows exactly. Bro, there must be a place where we add this, no? We do it outside. Wait a second. Spawn schedule item. What I need is schedule item. Why sometimes my Visual Studio is not searching? It's so annoying. What is going on? Why is not searching? Because there are 0? Okay, scheduled item. Why is not telling me there are no more? But it is not an easy problem to solve, guys. This is not, unfortunately. This is not an easy problem to solve. But I think we have to solve it. Otherwise, we will be in trouble. Bro, I don't remember how I did it. I don't remember how I did it, bro. I don't remember how I did it. I didn't finish that? I mean, because it seems that we are not populating the timers, actually. It seems that we are not populating the timers in any way. Which is a bit weird, huh? I didn't finish that work. I didn't finish that work. Because it seems that this handle, right? I think I didn't finish it. It seems I didn't finish it because this these loot timers, right? Delete all the timers of future spawn chest, right? Which is correct. Ah, no, now I remember. I think what we did that if the chest was spawning in a procedural dungeon and the dungeon was not ready, we would not spawn it. Ah, yes, that is how I decide. So this code is actually old code. They should be removed. Because I think that we have in the... Okay, I now remember. So in the schedule, so basically when the schedule item is triggering, well, it's not a schedule item that is triggering, is this guy. Is this guy. So when this guy triggers, I think we said oh shit, we didn't do it this way. Oh fuck. We did it here. I don't remember where we did it. Oh fuck, I don't remember, guys. We did it. Yeah, the idea was that, no? Oh my god, I don't remember. I don't remember. I have to go and check in my own videos. I don't remember. That is one of the problem of working on this stuff, 2 hours per day, is that you cannot focus on, what you are doing. You cannot focus on what you are doing. I don't think it was yesterday, right? I think it was the previous... I think it was the previous... I think it was this 10 days ago. I think it was 10 days ago. Let me see if we were working on that code.
We need to basically now call this function with all these parameters, right, from our random generation. Already happening. All of this is already happening.
Exactly. This is when we discussed the problem. Exactly. This was exactly where it was, you know? So the create and location, spawn chest, schedule item, chest picked up, check the schedule and start the timer for the respawn. Exactly.
My only problem at the moment is to actually spawn with market people, right? And here we know if we are inside the level, say.
So there is the code that at the moment is commented out. There is the code that is commented out. And it's the one that I thought that we were using.
Because we have a dungeon ready, right? We have a dungeon ready.
Exactly. We have a dungeon ready, man. So what do we do?
If I check the dungeon ready.
Yes. Do it. Okay. How did you solve it, man? Nah, dungeon ID is a mess.
He's saying, oh, this is dungeon ID 1, okay? Then I will have my dungeon ID 2, my dungeon ID 3, and my chest, I mean my schedule item is equally the dungeon ID. And so as soon as I'm trying to schedule, well, actually not the schedule item, the UPS in, so basically,
Just going forward a bit to see what we did.
saying, hey, this event is yours. This event is yours, so it's part of this dungeon. And when I delete the dungeon, I will validate all these events. Which I assume I can, I think I never did. I never validated anything. Validate, send it to our, which one I like the most, which one, so we have, new object is cool. There is a completely new test. Really new language. Because this is not a safe technical.
Did I stop doing this?
Corresponding loads. Or maybe the dungeon. Maybe the dungeon is just restarting the spawn.
Is this a point that we never completed? Where did I type that? Ability to save, load the dungeon, saving corresponding loot, like no, okay, the saving fine. Okay, the saving fine, but
So when the dungeon,
fuck, I think we never finished that. I think we actually never finished that. So we did all the reasoning here, but we never did it. Invalidate timer of loot monster respawn on dungeon destroy. Invalidate timer of loot monster respawn on dungeon destroy. Is this one? Is flagged as done. Is flagged as done. But we didn't. Maybe we did in the next days. Maybe we did in the next days. Maybe I did. Okay, so it seems that this function we started, but we didn't finish. Fuck. So we need to redo the reasoning. No, I don't want to redo the same reasoning twice. But anyway, we have to redo the reasoning, boys, because I think we didn't finish. I think at the moment, the schedule item will actually we'll actually restart. We actually respawn even if the dungeon is deleted, which is not a good idea. So the deletion of the timer is good. Delete all timers of future. So this is good. I mean, we can see the next day. I mean, this was 1136. We can go to 1137. But I don't know if I... I did it offline.
So, where are we? Okay, so the good news for you is that I managed to do this.
Yeah.
I managed to do this one, which is the validate of the timers based on.
So I did it offline. I didn't do it on stream for whatever reason, and basically I added this. This was what, 9 days ago. 9 days ago. Because you know this is good. The problem is that we don't have an add. We are never adding to this array. So this array is public, true, but we are not adding. We are not adding timers, right? We are not adding timers to the dungeon. So I think I did it partially. The timer should be 1136. So create on location, right? Create a timer with a scheduled item. The timer spawned the chest. Association the scheduled item. The chest is picked up. The check chest for the scheduled item and start the timer for the respawn. So with the create at start that we added, right? Because we added the create at start, right? Create at start. So we added this to the create at location. So in this case, it's not waiting a timer to actually be executed. So if create at start is equal to true, we don't queue anything. We just create the item immediately, right? Which is good. And then when we create the item, we associate the new scheduled item, right? And so it's only during the pickup, exactly like this is saying, right? When the chest is picked up, we check the scheduled item, right? So exactly. So it's during the pickup that we need to send that item to the, okay, fine. So where the hell is the pickup? Where the hell is the pickup? The pickup is the pickup is the pickup is where the fuck it is? Oh my god. The pickup is here. Well, it's here for NPC actually. Okay, it's here. There it is. Item schedule respawn. There it is. Send to the dungeon object. There is the piece that we didn't finish. There is the piece that we didn't finish actually. There is the piece that I didn't finish. So now the question is, how do we know, right? How do we know if we are in a dungeon object? Well, or we check if this object is actually in the list of our dungeon start, or very simply, which could be one way, or we do it by sector. So if we are inside the dungeon generated sector, we keep it inside. Now this means that if I drop a chest, there are multiple problems here. Like if you drop, so let's say that you pick up a chest, right? And then you drop it again. That is a very good test. In theory, I mean, I really hope that is invalidating the scheduled item, but I'm not sure. Let me put it here 1 second as a reminder, because this needs to be tested. What happens if I drop a chest and pick it up again? Is the scheduled item created? This would be a disaster. I really hope it doesn't do it, but this would be a disaster, obviously. But I hope it doesn't. But anyway, apart from that, which is just a reminder I want to keep there. What we need to do, we need to say if the chest, right? So I think we can get the actual position, because here we have the schedule item. The schedule item contains the coordinate, right? Well, we also have the item. The item at the moment is before the pickup, I assume. By there is a get sector already. which I'm not 100% sure that is actually set, but hopefully it is. Because we are passing sector when we create the come on. Because it's called PS. I assume that the sector is valid. Yeah, the sector should be valid actually. The sector should be valid. So if the sector is valid, we can check it by you can check it by name, or we can check it by, I mean, it's the same. So basically, if the schedule sector name equal to dungeon proc, it means that we are inside the dungeon procedural sector. And so in this case, we want to send to our, right? We want to send to our dungeon object the timer that we just created, which is this new handle, right? We want to send this to the dungeon object. And is there a way to have this bling bling, not bling bling? So how do we get our dungeon object? How do we get our dungeon object? We said we said this, right? We said this. So basically we said we don't do it on trigger. We don't do it on trigger, we do it on pickup. We do it as soon as we generate the event. Because if I do it on trigger, it will be too late. Exactly. Exactly. Is my schedule item? No, my schedule item is not good. My schedule item is not good. You know what? Just use spawn manager and GG. Just use spawn manager, which is better. So now there is a bit this thing is a bit at risk, because when we will expand the dungeon generation to be multiple dungeons, this may become a problem. So I think here I should have UE fix me. This line will have to change, right? When we will have multiple dungeons generated. Otherwise, yeah, because it will fail. It will fail. Okay, so if we have at least one dungeon generated and we are inside a procedural dungeon, then we send to our dungeon object the new thing, and I think we should create a function for it. I don't want to interact directly with I don't even know why this loot timers is inside public. I think it's a bad idea, because I don't know why I put it oops, I don't know why I put it public actually. I think it should be protected or private. I think it should be private actually. There's no reason why it should be, no? I think it should be private. And then we can have now, the only problem of adding a timer to the list is then when the timer gets invalidated, do you think that we will crash? It's a good question, huh? That's actually a good question. That's actually a good question. I mean, if the timer is already invalidated, I hope that we don't crash. But it's a test we need to do, eh? It is absolutely a test we have to do. Okay. So we will have add loot. I thought I finished that piece, but we actually didn't. So it will be this and this, right? I thought we finished this part, but we actually didn't. Item schedule respawn. Okay, let's try like this. I think that this is kind of good. I think it's kind of good. It's compiling. Will take a bit. One failed. No. Ah yes, because here I was testing the new stuff. Let me remove that for now. We need to decide if we want to do it this way or not. Why doesn't it like it anyway? It's compiling. Okay, succeeded. Okay, let's see. Let's see now. We have few points to check. Definitely, I want to check what happens on dungeon deletion, and it may crash. But we want to see. Yeah, we want to see this, right? So I think I will start in debug mode, and we will check definitely this point. And then we absolutely need to understand what happens if I pick up the chest and drop it again, because that is dangerous. So I want to see when I create my item. I think we clear it out, but I want to be 100% sure. Otherwise, it means that you can create infinite items. When we create create item, right? PS item, PS schedule item, create item. Yeah, because in theory the schedule happens only after another schedule has been created, but there should be a starting point, right? The starting point is when? Yeah, or in the create ant location, which is fine, or in the schedule. No, okay, so probably, yeah. So probably the schedule item is generated only in those two cases. So if I just drop an item that already exists, I don't regenerate a new timer. Okay, so I think it should be, yeah, I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. But I want to see. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, this was actually a leftover. This was actually a leftover. We didn't, yeah. So what is the case that we need to test? We need to pick up a chest. We need to pick up a chest and then wait that it well, how much is the respawn of this chest? I need this chest to have a reasonably low respawn time. Otherwise we have to wait, 20 minutes. So so the chest respawn time is given by the chest respawn time is based on create hunt location, right? Yeah, exactly. And the create hunt location is actually called in two places. One, there are two different types of create hunt location. Yeah, exactly. One false and one true. So one not create a start and the other create a start. So exactly. So this one. So what is the schedule time? Okay, this is the schedule time. This is the schedule time. At the moment it's hard coded. At the moment it's hard coded. I think it's a very bad idea that it's hard coded. I think it should be. Yeah, but I need to lower it because otherwise we need to wait this time to. Okay, but let's do one test at a time. Yeah, but this is the thing that I need to change. Huh? Okay, let's do one test at a time. So now we are testing the deletion of an existing timer, which is actually a valid timer. So we generate a dungeon, and hopefully we get some loot, right? And we go and search for the loot. Here it is. Ouch. So it is the loot. So as soon as I pick this up, yes, I will notify my dungeon of the new timer, right? And now if I delete the dungeon, and now if I delete the dungeon before the chest respawns, right? We will reach this, right? So now I do dungeon delete. Okay, we have one timer and we are going to invalidate the timer. Okay, and this seems to work fine. So basically I deleted the dungeon and the chest that was supposed to respawn is not going to respawn anymore, right? So that is a good fix. I let you in the back on the beginning. I still don't understand really what you mean by dynamic in the respawn. You need to jump when you respawn. Dynamic, I mean that this NPC do not exist in the database. So they are created when the server is up, and they are created based on rules that are, for example, a dungeon generation. So these are not static NPC that exist all the time, or static loot that exists all the time. Hello, list of the videos. Hi. Hello. Okay, so this is done and it works. Now the other thing I want to test is this. If we reduce the timer, where do we want to have this timer, by the way? We want to define it on, I think it should not be here. I think it should be somewhere in dungeon definition. We should have a dungeon we should have it defined, right? Well, we can also put it on psconst, but yeah, we can also put it on psconst. Trap reactivate time. So let's have define procedural dungeon loot respawn. Okay, and this is what? This is come on. Is this 60, 100,000, right? At the moment here it is in milliseconds. It is in milliseconds. So there is a base and random. There is a base and random. Procedural dungeon. So this will be, for example, 60, right? And that is the base time before a new chest will respawn. And then we have procedural dungeon RNG, right, which in theory is 10, which is additional random time before the chest will respawn, right? Okay, so here we just need to do this multiply by, so should we specify it in milliseconds or just do this multiply by 1000? I think I feel that all our variable, I think it's better if they are all expressed here in seconds, and then we multiply by 1000 here where we need, right? I think so. So this is in seconds. Okay, so if you want to change it now, we don't want 60 and 10, but we want 10 and 5, right? So it's very, very quick. So after 10 seconds, you know, we will get the, or 15 seconds, we will get the respawn, right? So what I want to test is the following. I want to have one chest that is spawned, then we pick it up, right? And so we add the timer to the dungeon entry. We wait the respawn. So basically the timer gets invalidated, and then we delete the dungeon, and we see if the first timer that in theory is invalid is crashing the server or not. I hope not, but I think this test we have to do. We have to do this test. We have to. Okay, so let's run it in debug again. Bam. Okay, so yeah, we are making some progress, but this dungeon thing is definitely complex, boys. I mean, there are a lot of, I mean, mainly the fact that we can delete it and recreate it and everything is dynamic is posing a lot of challenges, but overall I think is making our code better, because our code is not really used to be so dynamic, right? So usually in the game there are things that are spawning in certain places and that's it, while now we have more dynamic elements, and that is very good, and that is very good. So let me just go day. Okay, so let's search for the chest. It should be a fairly small dungeon, so the chest is just ow. The chest is probably just down there. Ow. Yes, the chest is here. Okay, so the point is, if I pick up this, right? If I pick up this and I send my timer to the dungeon, right? And then I wait the respawn. The timer invalidates. The respawn should be in 15 minutes, in 15 seconds maximum. It is something also we need to test though, because we never tested it, so we don't know if it will actually respawn. It's not respawning? Holy. Okay, so there's another problem. We need to understand why. The chest it actually didn't respawn. The chest did not respawn. Why? I mean, unless that was not in milliseconds. That's possible though. It's really weird though. Was not in milliseconds? Create ant location. Interval max random. Interval max random. No, it must be in milliseconds, otherwise it would be. It doesn't say if it's seconds or milliseconds, unfortunately. Fuck it. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Interval, new ant location, schedule item, PS schedule item. No, actually it is in seconds. It is in seconds, boys. It is in seconds. Ant location. Why we have these insane numbers then in huh? Why we have these insanely big numbers? 15,000? I mean, if 15,000 seconds, it's like 3 hours, right? 4.1 hours. Okay. Now you see that it says in milliseconds. It says in milliseconds. Tinder is a mess. But if respawn, I can stay and loot again. Yes, Ula, but the respawn in production will be like every 20 minutes. So if you want to waste 20 minutes just by waiting, yes, you can. But you have to wait like a lot. And I don't think that people will do. But yes, you can. And we can do a trick. If there are players around, we don't respawn. We can do that if we want. 600,000. But all these I think all these values are fucked up though. All these values are fucked up because wait a second. When we load the location, so it's actually in milliseconds in the database, right? I don't know why it's in milliseconds, but anyway, it is. So when we load a new ant location, when we load, no, I want to see when we load it from the database, right? Yeah, exactly, here. When we load it from the database, we convert to seconds. Okay. So in the database, they are in milliseconds, but actually in Unreal, we keep it in seconds. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Okay, let me document this though, because otherwise, bro, is a mess all the time, right? So this create ant location actually is this create ant location is so interval and max random. Interval and max random are milliseconds in the database, just because historically they are like this, but converted to seconds on load, right? So actually when we store this data is in seconds. So in our PS const, this is actually in seconds, and in our conversion here, we don't have to multiply by 1000, basically. This is why, right? Okay, so now at least we clarified what is what. We clarified what is what, but you know, I'm going to put it also here because I want to be sure that this is captured. Milliseconds in the database converted to second on loads. Okay, so this is why it was not respawning, right? That is why it was not respawning, because we need to do the test with the respawn. We need to do the test with the respawn. Yeah, so Hula, the idea is that it responds, but it responds with a relatively low number of, you know, so it's not going to. I understand what is this. Target client equal to target client. Well, anyway. There are some parts of our code that are still, you know, suffering from the migration and they are a bit weird, but they work. So as long as it works, I don't complain, right? As long as it works, I don't complain at all. Okay, so now what we are checking is that the chest respawns properly because we lowered the time significantly. And we want to see if the timer of the respawn is not causing a crash when the dungeon is getting deleted. Because the timer will not be valid anymore. But since the timer is just an ID, at the end, I think it should be kind of fine. But let's see what happens. Do you think the loot is this way or this way? It's not this way. Why these two balls were going up and down? Even if I'm not in? Oh? Strange. Okay, anyway. The loot should probably be this way then. Yeah, I'm just skipping the doors basically. Where is the loot? Here is the loot. Okay, so we pick it up, right? We pick it up and we wait the respawn. We should be in 15 seconds. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, this is another problem we need to fix. That the position is not getting adjusted based on the original calculation. Because yeah, I calculate the location based on the size of the item and everything, but it seems that this is not carried over. Why that happens? Why that happens? Because the position that I send in the schedule item is not correct. Because the position the position for the scheduled item, position, component position. Fuck. Yeah, because I decided the position after. Oh my god. Jesus. Yeah. So basically, inside of this, Here we should also set the new position for the schedule item. Otherwise, yeah, okay, I will do it. So this will spawn correctly the next time. Okay, but if now I delete the dungeon, right? If now I delete the dungeon, I want to see what happens exactly here, because we will have one loot timer, but this loot timer is actually invalid, right? And I want to see if it crashes anything. No, it doesn't crash anything. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so that will actually work when you delete the dungeon. Okay, fantastic. Oh, fuck. The new chest is not deleted. Oh my god. Okay, so we have few problems, guys, but we can fix them. Hello, Gian, how are you? Did you remove the room overlap optimization thing? The room overlap optimization. Which one was that? We calculate the overlap between rooms during the generation, and that actually works because the bounding box is valid, even if the mesh is not loaded yet. I don't know if this is what you're saying. So we have a problem that the position of the newly spawned chest is not correct because the schedule item doesn't inherit this position, right? So what I need to do, I need to get item date. I need to get what? Oh fuck, because this one is an well, it's fine. So I do So it needs to be an APS item actor, Needs to be an APS item actor, otherwise we don't go anywhere. So actually, if we have a PS item actor, right, we can do item actor. We can do item actor. Get the get data, get item, and then I think we have a get scheduled item. Yeah. So if this is valid, right? If this is valid, then we want to have. So that is what? This is a PS schedule thingy. We also have the chest that is no. Activate traps on begin overlap and now that part works now. That part works now. So I'm also ensuring that the player is. I mean, I also did the reasoning like if there are two players, you know, and one is overlapping, the other is not overlapping. I mean, all that mess. But it seems that the NPC are triggering now that they are real NPC, I think they are triggering. So I need to be sure that the overlap is checking if it's not an NPC, but yeah. No, but the trap activation on the overlap with the room seems to be working fine now. It is okay. I still have this massive problem of nav meshes not being dynamic. That is an issue because our monster will not move, and that's super bad. If anyone can help me on that, would be nice. So this is what? There is a PS schedule item, right? Ouch. There is a PS schedule item pointer schedule. So on the I don't know. So on the schedule, there should be the possibility to change the position. No. Update position. What is this thing doing? Update position. He wants the position and the sector. In theory, I need also the rotation though. Why am I updating only the position and not the rotation, boys? That's a bit weird. Even if here we update only the position, but probably rotation is already... Why also wants the sector? Come on, bro. The sector, no, please. Oh, fuck. It's updating on the database. Oh, fuck. No, 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 no. This one is updating for real. This one is updating for real. No, 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 no. And this one is dynamic, so it doesn't exist in the database. No, we just need to... Can we just hack this freaking position? Is it private or... It is private, huh? Fuck you. Okay. Okay, let's create another one, which is... why the position is with a... Huh? Because we are returning it or what? What the fuck? Yeah, what is the... I don't know, sometimes, boys, we do weird stuff in our code. That's okay. As long as it works. As simple as that. So... Okay, so now the chest, the second time, should spawn in the right position, hopefully. Visual Studio is still annoyed, but just because it's slow and stupid, but it's correct. Now we have the other problem. So the new chest that was generated, right, was not felt from the dungeon to be its own chest, right? So actually the dungeon didn't know. This is kind of annoying though. So because when the chest is spawning, when the second chest is respawning, right? Yeah, exactly. When the chest is respawning, does it know? At the moment, it doesn't know. At the moment, it doesn't know because it's creating a timer and that timer is doing shit. This one, right? PS spawn event. But PS spawn event has no idea it is inside a dungeon. It has no idea. It has completely no idea. Come on, Visual Studio. I'm using like 3 classes. By the way, they approved my JetBrain license, I think. I mean, the message was positive, so let's see if next week they give it to me. Yeah, so basically this create item, at the moment there's no idea that is inside a random generated dungeon, right? Uh-oh, this save is kind of scary. But anyway. This save is kind of scary. Oh, fuck. He's saving it to the database, bro. Oh, fuck. Does it mean that we have 1 million chests? Let me see. Probably yes. No, those items should never be saved. Never, ever. Never, ever. Item instances. So if I check all the item instances in sector 214. Why there is no sector? 214 is a... Holy shit. Okay, there is a problem. This is a problem. Okay, so we are basically saving to the database those dynamic chests, which obviously we should not. Yep. It's good that we saw it. It's good that we saw it because all this shit is impossible. Now the problem is if you drop stuff yourself, right? But for sure this should not be saved. So even more, right? Even more, we should check if we are in the procedural dungeon, right? Because everything else in the world is persistent, right? So if something is generated, it stays there. So the next restart is loaded up. But in the procedural dungeon, we don't want that, right? So, but then why I was not seeing like 1 million chests all around with all those instances? It's kind of weird, huh? Because maybe it was not in the same position. Because we are excluding. Huh? That's kind of strange, huh? If there were all those items saved, why? But anyway, we will have to revisit this on when the dungeon will actually save. At the moment, the dungeon is not saving, right? And probably the first release, it will stay without saving. So, are we in a procedural dungeon? So how do we know if we are in a procedural dungeon? Yeah, the only way is to do this. We have to go by coordinates pretty much. So we have to know, yeah. Should I have because copy pasting this code is kind of bad. Yeah, kind of, I don't know. So basically, so I need to do get sector, and yeah, I don't like copy pasting this, guys. No, I don't want to copy paste it. I don't want to copy paste it. No, I don't want to copy paste it. Let's create a function that is get procedural dungeon, and if it's true, right, and if it so this will be what? It will be a dungeon start this will be what? right? So we can say, because otherwise it becomes a mess of copy paste, right? So, and it's not a good idea. So we save only if there is an UE fix me, right? When we save state of the dungeon, change this, right? But for now, we don't. They host their licensed server on Commodore 64. You have to be patient. And they sent me a positive email saying that yes, they asked me the email I wanted to add the license. So because they don't, yeah. So it's good. So if dungeon, what do we do? So we will have to say dungeon what? Dungeon add loot. Add loot, but dungeon doesn't know. Dungeon doesn't have a loot add. Dungeon is stupid, but now we will be smarter. Add a new item instance, loot item. Add a loot instance, so this would be right. It doesn't have anything to do, it just have to say, this just has to say loot instance, blah blah blah. Add, you know. This just to say loot instances. I'm pressing space, control space. I'm pressing control space. Okay, it did it. Fuck it. Jesus. Okay. Good. So okay, so now in theory, when we respawn, right? What? Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. No, come on, you create the item, please return the item, bro. Yes, he's returning the item. Okay, he's returning the item. What? Yeah. What was this? Ah, yeah. So we create, I think we created on what? We created on schedule item or, good question. Or we do it on spawn manager? I think we do it on spawn manager, fuck it. I think we do it on spawn manager. Ah, it's already there. Get dungeon start object. It was already there. Oh. No. This is the start object, it's not the... Yeah, it's the start object. Huh? Yeah, it's this. I think it's this, huh? I don't know who is setting it, but someone is set. I mean, if I have it, I assume that I set it somehow. Huh? Yeah, when we create a dungeon, we set the reference, we set a permanent reference in Spawn Manager to the created dungeon. Genius! Genius! I just don't remember what I do, but apart from that, we had it already. We had it already. So in the other piece of code, we should do the same, right? Also here. What? No, bro. The same as this. Come on. No. Okay, now we went in 1 million different places. I don't have it anymore. No. Okay. Anyway. Oh fuck. Okay. Fine. Spawn manager is easy. Spawn manager get dungeon something, right? Get dungeon start object. Exactly. So we don't need to do all of this, right? We just need to do this and then okay, fine. Good. We should remember we created that function. Okay, let's recompile and see. You just didn't click Control Space hard enough. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why it's so slow. It's so slow. I mean, I'm using like the same 5 classes. Well, not 5, but maybe 20. I don't know. But it's like the same 20. It doesn't have any priority, you know? The problem of IntelliSense in Visual Studio is that it doesn't have any priority. So it doesn't understand that your project, you know, has a certain amount of classes, and then you are using libraries like Unreal Engine, which have like 3 million other classes, right? So the only thing that you should do is to prioritize the classes in your project, right? And it doesn't do it. So I think that every time you press Control Space, it's like going through an infinite database of millions of windows and Unreal Engine header files. I don't know, but it sounds. But anyway, Visual Studio 22 is so much better than the previous one. The previous one was basically impossible to use with Unreal Engine. Well, not impossible, but if you look at my previous videos, if you go like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, well, maybe 3 years ago, and you see when I was doing like IntelliSense stuff, I mean, it was taking forever. It was taking like 1 minute to get the IntelliSense. And then with 22, they fixed it. Probably also because Rider, you know, started to exist and they got the pressure from some. So what are we testing now? We are testing that the chest is deleted when the. Yeah. We are testing 2 things. That the chest is deleted when the dungeon is deleted, and we are testing that no item is getting saved in the database, right, for the procedural dungeon. And the engine source was way smaller at the time. Wow, that I don't know. I think that. You think so? You think like 420 was so different from, I don't know. I mean, if you say 7 years ago, maybe, but if you say 3 years ago, I don't know. I think the code base of Unreal Engine is pretty much, I mean, it was already big. Was already pretty big. So Gion, how do we fix this nav mesh? Who do we ask? I mean, should I file an enhancement ticket to Unreal Engine saying, hey guys, why the hell you don't support static plus dynamic in nav meshes? Why? 80 gigabyte in new file. No, but I was still using Unreal Engine 4. It was Unreal Engine 4. Okay. We also need to check. Let me just check another thing. This initialization of this overlap, this begin overlap on the room, right? Why begin overlap on the room is not working as expected? It is activated by NPC. That's very bad. Where is my... But, another thing, why this thing is not in alphabetical order? Fuck. So dungeon room begin overlap. Begin overlap component. I didn't do the check, that's why. Click sound? No, no way. Click sound on the room? No. No, thank you. So I guess that other actor is me, right? I assume that other actor is me. If he's not a player, oops, if he's not a player, GG. We do nothing. If he's not a player, we return. We do the same here or no? End overlap. Why I do it only? Why I do it only there? Because we check if no. Yeah, but if in theory if the NPC exit from the room, if the NPC exit from the room, something that he cannot do now, right? But I think it's the same, right? So also in begin end overlap, if the right, only if he's a player exiting. If he's not a player exiting, we don't give a shit. Okay, but anyway, let's generate the dungeon. We will test that in a second. Let's enter the dungeon Enos. Do you think the loot is there or here? Maybe. Wow, there are no traps here. Why? Okay, there is one. Wow, we go down. Very cool. Ouch. It is my loot. Okay, so we need to test few things. We want to test. I forgot what we want to test. I want to test that when I pick it up, right? When we pick it up and we respawn. No. No, ignore. So we want to test it when he responds, we are not creating any entry in the database, right? Why the position is fucked up? And then I wanted to test the position. Okay, we're not creating any entry in the database, which is fantastic. But why this shit is not in the right place? Considering that the position is better than before, but because the rotation is fucked? I don't know. Because the rotation is fucked? The rotation angle at the moment is 0. Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, but even if he will rotate, he will not go in the right place, huh? Let me see if we have another chest. I don't think so, but maybe yes. Because there is the initial position and then there is the respawn position. And the respawn position... Ow. So, okay, let me see 1 second the rotation of this guy, right? So this guy is strange though. Also, this guy is not rotated. It seems a bit strange that all these chests are not rotated. Is this printout correct? He's saying angle 000, but I don't know if I really believe it. Let me try to rotate it a bit. Yeah, actually it's saying 9 now. Actually it's saying 9. Okay, so maybe it works. But why when I generate the second one is fucked? Hello, Kerry Chronic. Hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, look at all the bombs that are going through. Hello, hello. What the fuck? Yeah, the position is really wrong. So the position was 869, and now the new position is 927. The rotation is correct, but the position is wrong. How is it possible? We are storing like a partial position. I mean, that would be so weird. Hello, 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 guys. If you don't know, we are making an MMO. I can give you a short introduction to the project for the one of you that will stay here for a few seconds before switching. So our game is named Plane Shift, and is actually a game that we are making since very, very long time. It was actually built on another engine originally, and we had our first release many years ago. And then we decided to upgrade it and port it to Unreal. Here you can see, for example, a screenshot of the legacy version, which was done many years ago with another engine, and on the left the new one with Unreal. And yeah, our game is a fantasy MMO and is actually released. You can play it if you want, you can download it, and it's made in Unreal Engine 5, at the moment 5.1. It includes 4 main cities, some dungeons, a lot of outdoors. You have quests, you can fight, you have magic. Pretty much, you have crafting, so pretty much what you can expect from a kind of an MMO. If you want to download it, just go to our website, click on download now, and you can download it for Windows, for Linux, and for Mac. So yes, we are crazy enough to release on three platforms. And yeah, let's go. At the moment we are working on procedural dungeon generation. So this dungeon is actually dynamically generated together with the traps, and like this blade, for example, together with the NPC and together with these other traps. And yeah, I'm trying to fix few things, mainly the fact we had a problem with the respawning chest that was not deleted when the dungeon is deleted, because I can actually delete the dungeon. Yeah, now it's deleted. Okay, I can actually delete the dungeon and recreate it as I want, which is nice. So if I want, I can go up a bit. Let me just fly a bit up. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. And create a new dungeon. Whee! I'm falling down. Yeah, that is the new generated dungeon that is just generated now, and it's completely different from the previous one. We can decide the number of rooms, we can decide the difficulty, the loot quality, and few other things. And at the moment we're generating it very small, like I think it's 10 rooms or something, but we can generate it up to 100 rooms if we want. And these are just sample rooms, but I can change the rooms. It works with a connection kind of thing, so we can just set up the connections in the different rooms and it will just work, right? Yeah, and you have simpler room or complex rooms and things like that. I think it would be a good addition to our game, because our game tends to be a bit static, and I think that this dungeon generation will add a bit of dynamic elements, which I think will increase a bit the interest from the people. But again, thank you for your raid, and everyone, welcome. If you want to leave a follow, that would be nice. Okay, so why the chest is moving, I don't understand. So I just set on the schedule item, right? I set the new position, which is actually equal to the position that I'm setting on the chest after the movement. So why the hell? What am I missing? What am I missing? I lost myself already. So yeah, create item, right? So when we create the item, item created. Okay, and this is what we added, which actually works. No, but the point is, in the dungeon generation, not in the room, but in the dungeon generation, when we place the loot, how is it possible the position is not? Because we create the ant location in a specific position, right? And then we create a schedule item. And then, I mean, it's true that we don't update the position also of the hunt location, but I think that should not make any difference. I mean, I'm doing actor set actor location new position, right? And it is the position that we get from the item. So if I do update position dynamic and I set it on my thing, why? Huh? Why it doesn't work? I don't understand. Is it because the ant location still has a different position? But I don't think the ant location is even considered, actually. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm reading it from here instead of reading it from the schedule. I don't think so. I think I'm reading it from the schedule. Wait. No, but here we are, yeah, exactly. Here we are setting the wrong position, but then we are updating it. Here we are updating it, right? And when we create the event, exactly, when we create the event, we set the item. And the item, these are all pointers, so everything should be properly managed. You already followed, thank you. Thank you. You should download the game. Yeah, try the game if you want. I mean, it's obviously a game done in the spare time, so I mean, it's not. You should not expect, World of Warcraft, but anyway, I think I'm pretty proud of what we did. So, okay, let's do this, because now I'm getting confused. Let's do this. Let's just recompile, because I did some changes for the NPC and such, and let's just debug the two positions and see why they are different, right? Because that looks weird, right? That we get a different position. Yeah, so basically inside of this function, which I assume we execute, right? We now set the new position, And I don't know if they're because the rotation is actually set. The rotation is actually set here for the new item, but I don't think it's moved to the schedule. Yeah, I think it is. It is moved to the schedule item. No, the schedule item doesn't have a rotation, unfortunately, for historical reasons. The schedule item doesn't know rotation, which is kind of stupid, but it's what it is. Because in the past, the schedule items were just like, I don't know, a mushroom, right? A mushroom that you have to pick up. So we didn't care about the rotation. We were actually randomizing the rotation. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you. What do you do with Real Engine? Are you a Real Engine developer, or I mean, I can check you out actually. You're on Twitch. Kerry Chronic. What are you doing? Ah, you work with. Maybe I raided you one time. I don't know. It is possible. It is possible. Am I following already? Yeah, I'm following already. Yeah. So I think probably I raided you one time. Following you already. That's why. Okay, let's go. Let's go, boys. I don't know why the position is slightly wrong. The funny part is just slightly wrong. That's kind of very strange, but I mean, it's not like the default position, but it's just slightly wrong, which is, I don't know, I cannot understand how. But yeah. But we are making our dungeon more and more solid. I mean, I feel that this thing is becoming more solid as we go. It was a bit of a, you know, small thing, but now... Okay, you see that here we have the new position, which is 289, 248 something. Okay. It seems there is only one, chest. Seems there is only one chest. Come on. Don't be annoying. Okay, the chest is here. Nice. Okay, what is the position of this thing? What did I say? 289. 289, 248, 948. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is exactly the position. 0, 0, 0. Yeah. So why when I... Ah, because I randomize. Because I randomize the position when I... Yeah. So it's correct actually, but when we spawn, yeah. We random because in the again the mushroom, you know, the thing on the ground was randomized in an area. So this functionality of respawning is actually trying to respawn in a certain random area. The only thing that I think what we said. I think what we said, I think I set it to 1, right? But I think that I was willing to do 1 centimeter, and I think I did 1 meter. Range, you see this range? This range is the one that is doing the mess. Range multiplied by 100. Yeah. Range is actually in centimeters. Sorry, in meters. And so when I said here 1, right? I'm asking him to generate a random position. So I should do 0.01 or even 0. I don't know if 0 will actually work, but do you think that 0 will work? We can see if 0 will work. 0 by 100 will be obviously be 0, and so my schedule item will carry a random position of 0. So this will be 0. And so when we respawn it, random position within range 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, it's clamped to 0. The -5 should not make any difference. Plus, yeah, we can say 0. We can say 0. So this will not move. Okay, good. So this will not randomize the position of the chest. So yeah, so basically it works then. Let me just see if we fix the activation of the traps. Ow! What the f... I died. Okay, we have we have a problem that if you are already dead, I mean, there are two issues. One, that for whatever reason the death animation is not playing, and the second thing is that if you are already dead, the trap is still doing damage to you, which I think is a bit stupid. Did you try to respawn it multiple times? Does it change every time? Yes, it will, because it was this randomization thingy. So, but yeah, thank you for the idea. So we should wow, we dropped into another level of the dungeon. So we should do two things. We should disable the trap damage in case the player is already dead, right? Because it doesn't make any sense. So how do we do that? Well, it should not be that hard because the trap has the overlap, right? The dungeon... Oh my god. The dungeon trap... The dungeon trap has the overlap, right? So it must be a player to continue. And we can say player should not be dead, right? So we say if player is alive, right? If player is not alive, we just return. So the trap doesn't continue to trigger on this guy, right? But the second problem is that when we die from traps, it seems that the game is not really considering the death as a normal death. I don't know. Is not triggering the death animation. And I don't understand why, because in theory we go through activate trap and we go through execute script, right? Exactly. Which is the outcome of the script. And the outcome of the script is removing HP. And so removing HP, wait, the outcome of the script is doing what? The outcome of the script, well, depends, because it can be many different type of damage. So depends a bit on the damage. But let's say that in general, let's do the simple one, right? Let's do the fire trap. No, please type something. Fire damage, right? So yeah, this thing is using an HP script, right? So the HP script is an HP OP, I think, somewhere. right? Direct damage. So in theory we should go through this, right? And we should actually do damage. I think we can debug here and see what happens, but in theory, if value is less than 0, it means if he's healing you. In case of a character, in case of an attackable item, do damage. Minus val -6. Huh? What do you mean? Anyway, if he's alive, he's already dead. Blah blah blah. Do damage. Actor damage. Do damage. Allow the rest of the set to possess this damage. Subscribers. That takes some special work. Check for dead. If HP is less than. Probably the error is here because we don't have a killer. The killer is the trap. So probably we are failing here somewhere. Okay, let me put a breakpoint. Let me put a breakpoint and we will see. But I think that the fact that the trap is the damage dealer probably is fucking up some stuff. And so we don't die. I mean, we die, but we don't play the death animation. Which is kind of strange though. We just don't play the death animation. Unless your flying mode overrides the montages. Was I flying? That's very possible. Choo-choo, but you don't make a railway simulator? What are you saying, Hula? What is choo-choo you make a railway simulator? For the sound? For the sound, huh? You think the sound was like a choo-choo? Maybe. I don't know, Gion, if I want to go into modifying the nav mesh, but I think maybe I will spend some time on it. I mean, at the end, I don't need the nav mesh to be connected to anything else. I just need to be able to add one freaking polygon, right, to my current nav mesh. I need to add one polygon. And then we will have the monster actually moving. I was flying, huh? We can try without flying, but I think the problem is... I think I've seen the problem also without flying, but maybe a possibility, huh? Maybe a possibility. What the fuck happened? Taking damage? Why? Okay, so let's just try to die on a trap. No traps, huh? No traps. Now that we need a trap, here it is. Ouch. Okay, let me not fly. Set me gravity off. No, on. Okay, I'm not flying. Do we want just to try to die and see what happens? But But now we have the breakpoint, so it will trigger forever. Okay, let's try without flying, okay? Just try just to die without flying. Ow, 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 ow. You see, I'm dead. And actually I cannot move because I'm dead. Okay, so also without flying, right? Is not working. But at least now the trap doesn't do damage to me anymore. Hello, citizen DJ. Hey, welcome. So also if I'm not flying, the trap is not triggering the death animation. So what we will search a trap, which hopefully we will find. There it is. Okay, I can go normal mode, right? Okay, so I'm just walking. Okay, on a few more. Ah, fuck! Why that one did so much damage? Is it randomized or what? Crown too heavy? No, he dies. Okay, let's try again. Let's try again. I wanted to enable the breakpoint only when I was at, very low, but it seems that it's not that easy. Traps? No traps? Traps. Okay. I think it's the HP is not updating quickly enough. Because you see, it's doing like 20 damage, but then... Wow, 107. Wow, it's doing more and more and more damage. Okay, the next one probably is fatal, okay? So let's see, I have 84 HP. I have 86 HP. How much damage is doing? 40 is not enough. But the next one... What do you mean 0? Huh? Okay, my damage is... Okay, I'm dead. HP is my HP, 0. So I'm dead, right? So we should go inside of this. Now we check if we have a mount, and if we have a mount, the mount is removed. Okay, fine, we don't have a mount. Now we are checking if there is an attacker. Actually, the attacker does not exist because it's a trap, right? And it is saying if there is no explicit killer, look for the last person to cast an area of damage spell. But unfortunately, this will fail as well because no one attacked us. And then, if I'm in a duel, but I'm not in a duel. So, okay, but we actually enter here, which is the correct one. We actually enter here. Are we an NPC? No, we are not an NPC. So I was thinking we were not entering here, but actually we do. So we do. Okay. I think it should be inside one of those. I mean, or this one. Dead actor, clear all duels, clear queue of attacks, set combat mode, stop the actor from moving, send out the notification of that, which plays the animation, right? Combat death, killer. The killer will be empty. I don't know if we have any other checks than when we receive this message. Probably yes. So this is probably the fuck up, right? That when we... Let me do 11. So if we go here, I think when we create this, obviously the killer is null, right? And then bro, but if we don't send the combat result, we don't send the die animation, huh? So this is not good. This is not a good if. So if I die from a potion, from a poison or something, no one will see me die. It is not a good idea. Why we do if killer? I don't understand. Send a message with combat results. Well, actually, this is not a combat result. I mean, it's just that I died. It's just that I died. Can we send the animation separately, or nearly there? Where do we send the animation actually? Because maybe the animation should not. Because here what the code is doing is trying to send to all the other players the information that you died. With, you know, something like you hit blah 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 but did that amount of damage, right? But this is actually combat death, right? Combat death. I think we do it on the client side. I think we play the animation on the client side. And this is never getting triggered, right, at the moment. So should we have like a dummy thing that... Because the current code does not understand if there is no killer. Or we make the killer an actor, which can also be an item. Yeah, that would be the best, actually. Actually, that would be the best. Yeah, absolutely. The attacker should be not a PS character, should be an A actor. So that the attacker can be a trap. Yeah, we should do this. We should change it so that this becomes this. And it is going to be a bit of a mess because this change is kind of a relatively big change, but I think we need to do it. I think so. I think so. Now, if our trap has a valid name that we can actually print out, that I don't know. Probably not, but the trap will be called, I don't know what is the name of the trap. I think we'll have no name, but yeah, the name may be an issue. But we can just say trap, you know, we can just say from a trap. So if we do this change, right? If we do this change, then so killer. So we want killer. We want killer to be also an item. We want killer to be an item. Killer. Killer. Killer, here is a character. It needs to be an actor. It needs to be an act. Now, the problem if you die from a potion, the potion is not even an actor, though. I mean, if you drink a potion and you die, right, the potion is not an actor because the potion is just sitting in your inventory. So I will not be able to print out anything, right? I will not be able to print out anything. Unless we do something different. We keep a PS character, but we add a new thing that is like killer item name, right? And so maybe that's an easier way, because the killer can also be something that is not an item, that is not an actor. And so here we can say if killer or and by the way, here we were broadcasting through the killer. We were broadcasting through the killer. So if he's not the killer, then we broadcast through whoever died, right? We broadcast through the target, but then what the hell we do? We can broadcast through the dead actor, it's not a problem, because it's the same thing, right? We can broadcast through the, but fuck, I think the whole logic now is fucked. The whole logic is fucked. I have to think about it a second. You played Plane Shit for the first time last night? Okay, good. Did you manage to get out of the two initial areas which people are still complaining about? So the purple area and the dungeon area? I have to think what I want to do here, but I think we need to have two different broadcast. Probably we need to have two different broadcast results. One on PS item actor. Because our trap is our trap an item actor, or what the hell is that? Our trap is what? It's not even. Our trap is just an actor. Our trap is not a PS item actor. So it doesn't even know. Fuck. I have to think about this, because we go through a stack, right? The stack is begin overlap, and obviously here we know that the trap is the trap. Then we go through the activation of the trap, the run of the progression script. So when we are running the progression script, do we know who is running it? Well, unfortunately no. No, we don't know. We don't know who initiated this script. We don't know. We don't know. We have no idea. We have no idea. You know, we can do it in a completely different way, meaning that we can activate the trap and then we can see if after the trap activation the character is dead or not, and if he's dead, we can send out a specific message and the animation, but that feels a bit hacky. Like, I will have to do it. I mean, activate trap is only one place in the code, so it's fairly isolated. You know, but there may be other cases, like it can be a trap, it can be a door, it can be a chest, it can be a poison again, it can potion, whatever it can be. So actually, it would be nice that if we could make the damage script more generic. Need to think about it. What is the best way? What is the best way? Yeah, because I could say, you know, here after the execution, I could say, hey, check if the player is dead, and if he's dead, play the dead animation, and maybe that's a good enough compromise, you know, without changing too much other stuff. Because the problem is that the script doesn't know, right? Doesn't know who is the initiator and doesn't know why. Doesn't know anything. It's just executing a script, right? And the same script can be reused, so a damage for fire can come from a trap or from a spell, and I don't know who is the initiator inside the script. I know it here, at this line of code I know it, but when I'm inside the script I don't know it, right? Because it's completely generic. So it was neat. The first cave system was a bit lengthy to navigate. Yeah, probably we are gonna change it so that at the moment the cave is, you know, just a random, well, not a random, but these are all the connections, right? That you have all the roads that you have, and then a certain point is like, here's the exit, right? So I think what I'm gonna do, and here is the start, let's say, right? I think what I'm gonna do, I'm going to create certain drops. So like here and here, you will actually have to go down and you are not able to go up again. So it will be like a one-way tunnel in certain places, right? So probably like here and here, and then maybe again, I don't know, here and here. So that basically when you find an exit from the first part of the dungeon, is impossible to go back. And so that will make it way easier, right? Way easier. I know there is people that you know find the exit in 2 minutes, and people that never find it, right? I mean, I've seen people that were inside that area and stayed like 1 hour and then just gave up. So I didn't realize like the game has been around for so long. If I started correctly, it started in 2001. Well, depends on which version. We also had a version before 2001. But let's say that I don't know what is the first commit, but you know the first commit, the first public commit, the first public commit, I don't know if you can find it here. But this is the first public commit of the 3D game. Yeah, it goes only until 2008. Now that is because this open up, you know, migrated, and they didn't pick up the migration. So the information about the migration got destroyed. So yeah, you cannot go before 2008. No, this is not. It is actually not giving you the right information, but anyway. February 2001 from Wikipedia. Okay. Wow. Well, we have the, let me see, we have the subversion thing, you know. We have this, right? 2001, 2007. Yeah. 2001. If you want to see the video of the source code in 2001, you can see it there. Yeah. 2001, the 3D version of it, of Plane Shift, because we also had a 2D version before that. But the 3D version actually, yes, it started 2001, correct. Because if you see here, that is the first, that is me creating the first nothingness, okay? The first directories. Together with this other guy called El Supi. And then Jorrit did some stuff. You see Jorrit here? And Matze. Jorrit is the creator of the engine, of the 3D engine that we were using at that time. Anyway, yeah, let's say 2001. But before 2001, the game was a 2D game. Believe it or not. So yeah, I'm thinking that probably the best compromise is to have a check here that says I think I will still have the problem though, because I will still have the problem of my structure not allowing, right? So I will have to basically broadcast the message to everyone, which is actually not coming from so I think this is a bad idea, right? So I will have to basically call this, but in a different way. Receive combat results. I mean, I can still send out the message myself. I mean, I can send out this message myself, right? To all the players. Because yeah, all this thing is not relevant anymore, right? All this is not relevant. So I can create another function, basically. I can create something special only for traps. And I don't know if I want to have it on the dying character, but probably yes. So I will create a broadcast combat. So I will copy this function pretty much. I will copy this function and I will call it broadcast combat results. No, I will say I would say broadcast combat death from item. Right? And it's fine that we do this. It's fine that we do this. But this will be completely different, right? This, I think, will just be one line. So this will be pretty much something like, well, it can still be if it's you or not, huh? But so I mean, to yourself, right? To yourself. So if yeah, wait a second. So if you are the attacker or if you are the target, well, in this case, you are the target for sure. So if you are the target and so you died, you know, we are going to send the message to ourselves, right? And here we can say someone else died, right? So here we can say this is you, huh? We can say the trap killed you, and that's it. We can say the trap killed you. And we send it to what? To the pawn, right? And then if it's someone else, we can say percentage S was killed by a trap, right? And the percentage S is the pawn get full name, whatever, right? Now the message will be a combat death, right? And I think that this is triggering. This should be the one that is triggering the death animation, right? The death animation. I mean, we just need to ensure that the target here is the proper player. Yeah, and pretty much I think that's it. So if we what? GG. What do you mean? Okay, anyway. Yeah, there is, I don't know, sometimes Visual Studio is just crazy. I don't know why. So broadcast, we have just a few functions on PS Character, just a few. Broadcast combat results, exactly. Blueprint callable. What? No, no, no. No, we don't need a brutally callable. We don't need it. We don't need it. So yeah, the only problem is, no, I think it's actually this one. No, receive combat results. I think it's actually this one. Yeah. So I think I have to do this because I think that that is the one that is actually doing shit. I think this one is the one that is playing that animation, by the way. I think I'm not 100% sure, but like 99. So okay, so now we just need to call this, right? We need to call this from our trap thingy. Where is our trap thingy? Yes, yeah. So we have to check if we have to check if we have to check why. We have to check if the this is me, huh? This is me. So I need to get my HP, my current HP. Wait a sec, because we were doing the same here, right? So we did this. Why we do it? Why we do it this way? So we do get HP. So we do get HP. And then we do this check or defeated. No, we're all defeated. I don't know why exactly we do this, but I don't want to think about it. So if we did it and it works, let's keep it. Because maybe you can be at 0.1 whatever precision, I don't know. So anyway, if this happens, we are dead. If this happens, we are dead. So we need to broadcast with a new FP combat message. Now we have to create a combat message. And at the moment, the trap is not creating the combat message. So at the moment, the trap is not creating, correct. So we need to create a new FPS combat message, right? We need to create a new thingy. There will be what? Like combat message. And this thing is what? This thing is this monster. Combat result, e-combat result, e-combat result, death. Okay. Attacker will be null. Target will be me. Me meaning me. The target location. The target location is where we did the damage. In theory. I don't know. We can have a PS slot. I think we said that in general we go torso, no? Yeah, let's say torso. Let's say torso, even if it's not. Then the actual damage done, we have no idea. We have no idea about the actual damage done. So I will just say 1. Attack animation, no idea, we say 1. Defense animation, no, we say -1. All this is not relevant to us. Sound, not relevant. Attack name, not relevant. Nothing is relevant here. The only thing that is relevant is that we died. The only thing that is relevant is that we died. So, okay. So let me recompile and see if we did something good or not. It makes sense to have some more identifiable marks along the way. Maybe have a color crystal when you point to the exit. Well, actually, if you right click on objects like mushrooms or chest or barrels or things, it's giving you some hints. But I understand that people are not clicking on stuff for whatever reason. But I added some hints here and there. I don't know, in general, I like games that are not easy, so, but it seems that not everyone is of the same advice. And probably that part is a bit annoying. Right? It's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying. I mean, I wanted to do something completely different today, but we went into these problems and I think it's good because we fixed a lot of bugs, but I didn't really want to do. So this actually, we restore it as PS character. Okay. Because we are not ready to do that. I think in general would be a good idea if the combat message includes a source that is not a player, but I think it's too big of a change, and we may avoid it. Yeah, so we started the code in 2001. So in 2001, there was nothing of this, which is insane. I mean, nothing of the new. If you think about it, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of years, true, but it's also, you know, in the old version is 1 million lines of code, so it's insane. It's insane, bro. 1 million lines of code. Why no one created something to count the blueprint counts? Yeah, exactly. Why no one did it? Exactly. April 17. That was exactly the question. Should I post a new question and push someone to do it? But actually, it's this question. This is exactly the question. I think I will answer, even if I know answering to a thread of like 3 years ago. I mean, 7 years ago. I don't know. But it is exactly the question. Is there a way to have, you know, the automate? Let me just check in the editor if this function is calling, but I think it is. If this function is actually calling that animation. I think it is. There's one, receive combat results, I think is the one. I don't know if any of the new guys that joined, are you using a real engine? Are you a developer or tell me something about you. I think we need to go in PS character and search for this. And I'm pretty sure that this is playing on death. You see on death, yes, it's playing the die animation. Okay, good. So we actually answered the question. So let's try again, and probably now this is fixed. Hopefully. I've been working on a project in Real Engine for a little while. Nice. What is it? What do you do with it? I mean, if it's not secret, right? If it's not super secret. I would like to connect artificial intelligence to our NPCs, but I'm a bit annoyed that I have to pay, you know, for every request. Now I know there is a limit, right? So there is like a only if you go above a certain limit you pay, but still it's kind of annoying. Ah, it's also an MMO. Ah, you want to make an MMO? MMO is nice. By the time I finish it and you finish it, MMO will not be a thing anymore. And so they will already discover them, right? Say, oh, what is this game? Oh, what is this game? Strange type of game. It's not using Google Glasses? Why? Well, maybe in the future we will use Google Glasses. Why not? Ah, there is a trap here. Okay, now we're gonna die. Boom. Let me remove the breakpoint, maybe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, broadcast. Oh, fuck. Seriously? We get the world from the attacker. That's super risky, actually. I will change it here as well, because again, if the attacker is null, this may crash, bro. Well, in theory, no, because you have also the distance. Anyway, in our case, must be the target. So this distance from the attacker. Yeah, sorry, I fucked up. But I think it's correct, but we just had some target instead of attacker and such. Mostly learn about the engine. Has been learning about server authoritative RPC calls. Nice. Yeah, we pretty much do everything the same way, right? So I standardize in one way. So I have in my player controller pretty much the calls, right? And they are all the same. So I always call them request when the client is asking something to the server, and I call it receive when the client is receiving something from the server, right? So pretty much everything is like this. So I can easily know what is what, right? And I have a bit of RPC calls in player controller, and I have some in PS character. I mean in the pawn. But yeah, the majority I think are in the controller. And usually in the blueprint I move from server to client. So because I don't like too much the underscore implementation, I think it's a bit confusing, right? So I actually go server to client and client to server, you know, with the run on client, run on owning server, run on owning client, and run on server. And I do that in the blueprint, which I don't know, maybe is slowing it down a bit, possible. But and pretty much I started like that, and I'm doing all the RPC calls like that. There are some exceptions. So I do, if you search underscore implementation, you see there are a few, right? There are some, like mainly the one related to movement I didn't want to keep in the blueprints, because, you know, everything that is executing very often is better if it's in C++. But so yeah, I have few things on movement. Yeah. You'll be doing everything in blueprints. I think it's good for learning, but at a certain point you will have to move stuff, because I mean, not everything, but for example, everything you do in the tick of your objects, I think is very bad idea to keep it in blueprint. If it's something done at every frame. Okay, let's see if we die. Will we die? It's not doing a lot of damage because it's the beginning of the dungeon. The traps are doing more damage when they are deeper. So will we find another trap, or we just wait to die? Okay, we should die now. 14. 3. The next one! Okay, we died. The trap killed you. Fantastic. And I have my death animation. I can still move a bit, which is kind of funny though. I can still struggle on the ground, you know, like I can still struggle on the ground, but okay, good. I don't know exactly what is happening with the light here, but I don't know if we fucked up something. But it seems that the light is not correct. It should be all dark. Skybox 035, 035, 055. I don't know. Okay, but the good news is that we fixed also that bug, which is very nice. So we can go back. We can test the spawn of the chest, right? Because now it will spawn properly. I mean, hopefully in the same position, right? Well, this one is not very easy to, but it should spawn in the same position because now we have a 0 randomization. Yep. So which is good. Now we can go back. So if this is done, right? If this is done, Let me just take a capture of this. Randomize the lock on the loot chest. Reset the time of trapdoor should be based on dungeon side. The funnel to enter and exit the dungeon. I mean, this stuff is really. So I think we can put it probably here. So what we did, I don't know, we did a bunch of stuff, but basically we fixed the death animation if the trap kills you, right? We fixed trap should not hit. Trap should not hit if you are dead, right? This one also we did. So we did this. What else? We fixed the positioning of the next spawns, and we fixed the So respawned loot added to dungeon list, so it can be deleted, right? So this one was not working. This one was broken, and now it works. Then we fixed the NPC triggering. We fixed the NPC triggering the overlap. So it is also done. This is something also we did today, which is very nice. Yeah, pretty much that's it. And then we started to think, but it's not done, right? So we started to think on what to do for NPC that are respawning, right? So basically the NPC respawn, which is what I was working on at the beginning, and then we got diverted by these other bugs. Is so if the NPC, if I kill this guy, at the moment he's not respawning. And he's not respawning because the game is thinking that it's not a dynamic object, but is a static object, and so it's just searching in the database is composition, I mean how it's made and such, and is trying to reload it, right? And that highlights two issues: the fact that we miss a cache because it was in the old game but I didn't import it, and the fact that dynamic objects are not respawning properly. So the respawn for dynamically spawned NPC. So this is a kind of a big deal. And at the moment, I didn't find a way to fix it yet. I have to think about it. I think the reasoning is in this screen, right? Because we actually have two types, we have 5 types of spawning, 5 types of respawning, right? When the player dies, when an NPC that is on the database dies, when an NPC that is part of tribes dies, which may be a dynamic NPC, which an NPC dies from a random generated event, and when an NPC dies, that is part of a procedural dungeon, right? And at the moment, the static works, and the dynamic doesn't. I just realized it today. I mean, I was thinking it would, but it didn't. Now, for tribes, it's kind of easy because tribes are already making new babies, right? So they are basically mating and spawning new tribe members. So for the tribes, it's not an issue. From random generated event, it is an issue, but the events that we have now and that we have now and that we have in the near future do not require respawning. So actually, it's not a big deal, right? But it is a big deal for this guy because our monsters are not respawning. So I have to fix it at least for that. So my idea is I don't know if I have an idea already, but my idea is that the NPC should know if he is a dynamic or not. At the moment, the NPC doesn't know if he's dynamic. And this means that when he dies or when he respawns, right, he doesn't know. Because the sequence is NPC dying, right? NPC dying and respawn event, kind of a timer, and then actual respawn, right? So we have in this chain of events, you know, we need to know that that particular NPC is dynamic. And so I think the only way is to put it here, and then obviously here as well, right? So we could do it. We could do it by the NPC spawn rule ID actually. That is actually a very good idea. This is a good idea. If we do it with the problem is that the NPC spawn rule ID is just an ID. So I don't know if I really like it. Because then what do? We just check for a specific number. I mean, that's kind of annoying. No, it's shit. No. We cannot do it by ID. I mean, I don't want to check for 103, right? Hard-coded. I want to say dynamic yes, no. Yeah, exactly. No, we cannot do it by spawn ID. I think there should be just a dynamic yes, no on PS card. So PS character should know if he's a dynamic object, if it's a dynamic. Or the other way to do it is always by position, right? So that we know that we are inside the dungeon, the generated dungeon, and so every NPC that dies, so I could even do it, if I want, I could even do it here because I know the coordinates. And so I can say, oh, did this NPC die inside a procedural dungeon? Yes, then automatically is a dynamic object, right? So I could also do this, which is probably simpler than modifying everything, right? I just modify here. That's not bad. That's not bad as an idea. That's not bad as an idea. Schedule respawn. No, there is items, no. Now if I search respawn, I will never finish the search. It's too many. Fuck. Let me search UPS respawn or respawn game. Respawn game event. Okay, respawn game event, right? So this is our guy. My original thinking was, yeah, say is dynamic, right? yeah, the point is that, yeah, what information I need to pass through, right? The information I need to pass through is dynamic, right? True. I have to pass this. I have to pass this. But then assuming that I have it, I need a bunch of other information because I don't have that in the database. So basically I need a full structure, right? Like I was trying to put here. I need a full structure is telling me the max HP, the max mana, the skills, the position, blah, 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 all of that, right? That we cannot derive from the actual character because the character died and it may be in a completely different position compared to the one where we want to spawn it, right? So yeah, so basically I will need at the minimum I need this. At the minimum I need this. At the minimum I need this. And the problem is, who is creating this? Right? Who is creating this? Because, and by the way, at the moment I think I will not even be able to use it because it's not included, but I will have to go soon, guys. I will have to go soon in a few minutes. But yeah, it was good. Made some progress. It didn't really work on the stuff that I wanted to work, but fine. Seems that my phone wants to update itself. Okay, let's do it. No, I will do it later. One failed. Yeah, I think he's not able to read this class because we need to include it into here. So this guy is defined. Where the hell is defined? That guy is defined in PS random event under bulk objects. Okay. So we have to go, oops. PS random. No way. Visual Studio never collaborating. Never collaborating, guys. Visual Studio never collaborating with me. Fuck it. Let me just see one thing. Okay, good. Compiling. 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 I still have the old, yeah, I still have the old PS Unreal here. The only problem is that I can't see the log of the old one. Okay, guys, I think it's recompiled. I have to go anyway. I have to go. It recompiled. So I will expand this part. So we will go. We will try to solve this problem tomorrow. So I will be here tomorrow evening, 9:30 p.m. European time. If you want to click a follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, that would be great. And it's also free and it helps us. And if you want to do a bit more, we have a Patreon site, which actually is patreon.com/planeshift. And here you can see some of the stuff that we are posting and, you know, some of the thing that we do. And also, if you want to go on our other socials, we have a Reddit, we have Twitter and Facebook and whatever. Also remember, our game can be downloaded and played right now. So with that, I think I'm gonna go and yeah, we say goodbye. Let's see if we can do a raid maybe. We are 10 people, why not? Raid with 10 people, I think is good enough. So we have Hindi Horror working on some games. We have Aurora playing Diablo 4. We have even MMO doing other stuff. Let's go maybe to Lana so that we can advertise a bit ourselves. Why not? If you want to see a nice girl that is actually developing games, let's do this. Okay? So I will see you tomorrow evening. Bye bye. If you want to stay for the raid, it would be nice. Let's go.